So we are on Little Traverse Bay right now. We're just outside of, on the other side of Harbor Point, and right around the corner here is Harbor Springs, which is one of the world's most beautiful natural deep water harbors. And we love cruising in and around Harbor Springs, out in the bay. We cruise over to Petoskey for lunch or dinner. We go over to Bay Harbor. So within a day's distance, you know, a day's trip of here, you can go to Charlevoix, Beaver Island, Traverse City, Northport, up to Mackinac Island with a powerboat or even a sailboat. Those are all within a day's trip, and then I guess you can go anywhere in the world you want to and beyond. Like going up to Canada, which is a long day in a powerboat to get up to the North Channel and Northern Lake Huron.
But it's a pretty special experience, and that's really what brought us to Northern Michigan, both of us, or kept us here. We spent time on boats when we were kids in the area, and then when we became adults, we both knew we wanted to, you know, have direct access and regular access to freshwater sailing at the time. Right now our kids are in an age that it's easier to be on a powerboat, but we love boating and we love cruising.
So living on Little Traverse Bay or around just nearby is absolutely amazing. There's so much to do here. You can kayak, paddleboard. There's a lot of competitive sailing here. There's a great yacht club in Harbor Springs. Bay Harbor has a yacht club as well. We often take our boat, we'll cruise down to the state park, and you can anchor out. A bunch of boats will anchor out and then either wade or swim into the beach there and play on the beach. Harbor Point, which is right behind us here, that's a great place also to go. The kids love that. I mean, it's 20, 30 feet deep, just 15 feet off the shore, which is absolutely amazing. You can go up in by the public beach there and anchor out on a windy day. And there's just a ton of stuff to do here. It doesn't really get boring.
Oh, definitely not. And the cool thing is, if you are a cruiser and you want to go on longer trips, like you can go all the way down the shoreline from here to Charlevoix. When we pull into Charlevoix, it's like we're in a different world when we go by boat. And then from Charlevoix down to Sutton's Bay, Traverse City, Ludington, you can even cruise across the Great Lakes into Chicago, which we've done before. It's an incredible experience.
Harbor Springs sort of has everything that you need. There's 2 different boat shops here. There's a gas stock. There's a public marina, and then they have a great mooring field. Unfortunately, there's quite a long waiting list. That's where we keep this boat, which I got on the list about 20 years ago, I think. 16 years ago. Right now, I think it's probably running about 12 years on that list. But it's a great way to have a boat here, but there is a public ramp right in Harbor Springs, so a lot of our friends and other people, and sometimes we bring our smaller boat over here, we'll just put it in the public ramp. You can pop out to the beach at Harbor Point there. You can only go a couple feet onto the shore, but that's a great destination. Or like I said, pop down to the state park. It's a ton of fun. Or just sort of cruising and checking out all the beautiful Victorian homes. Sometimes we'll go over and have dinner at Bay Harbor, cruise over to Petoskey as well for that. There's just a lot of short little destinations you can take in this area.
We love to at least once a year get up to the North Channel, and that is probably what we love most about living where we live, is that it's an incredible jumping off point to so many other adventures. There's a lot to do here right at home, but whether you want to spend a day or 2 up in Marquette, or you want to go to Marquette being Pictured Rocks, or you want to cruise up like we do once a year for several days and go into the North Channel in Canada, in Little Current and the Benjamin Islands. It's all within reach, and it really is an incredible blessing to be able to do that.
Around Little Traverse Bay from Petoskey, that route I was just talking about, sort of going east and then north and west around the very east end of the bay there. So you got obviously Petoskey on the water, you got Bayview Association, that is on the water there as well. And then you got the state park, which is awesome. Our kids absolutely love it. We live here on Crooked Lake, but our kids love going and running over on the sand beaches there. We take our boat there sometimes and we'll anchor out and wade to shore. And then once you get past the state park, there's another little community. Farther now, we're sort of going to the north, is a little enclave called Mananaquah Beach. That is just sort of a real gem, one of my favorites, sort of off the beaten path, off of Beach Drive. It's really hard to sort of notice it there. It's just this little drive that takes you in, and there's some beautiful homes back there and some old historic cottages as well. And then as you wrap around, now you're going back towards the west, basically towards downtown Harbor Springs. There's Ramona Park, which as a boy I can remember there used to be a huge hotel there, which was really cool. I remember eating breakfast there with my parents and my grandparents as a little boy, and they had a huge fountain. That hotel has since gone, and they've sort of recreated the classic sort of northern Michigan little community with beautiful Victorian homes that are rather close together, but it is sort of a cool neighborly experience.
We love cruising the Great Lakes. It's really special if you ever get the opportunity to do it. We highly recommend it. It's just, there's something about being out on the water first thing in the morning, all day, spending all day on the water, and then finding the perfect spot to anchor that's protected. You've got to read the charts and think about the weather and which direction the wind is blowing, and then you drop anchor and you cook dinner on the boat, or maybe you go ashore and cook dinner on shore, and you sleep on the boat, and you wake up in the morning and have a cup of coffee at the break of dawn on a camp stove. We do have a stove, and we could plug in a coffee pot, but we like to kick it old school that way because it tastes better. But it's just a really incredible experience. And where we live, you can go so many different ports in northern Michigan and on the Great Lakes where you can anchor out and have a great night overnight.
When it comes to where you choose to plant your roots and grow a family,
you think about community, livelihood,
the future of your children.
And that's why we love northern Michigan.